Let's talk about Saturday Night. Now, Saturday Night is written and directed by Jason Reitman, who made such aughts era indie classics as Juno and Thank You for Smoking and Up in the Air and Young Adult
and Tully Heads
and Tully. And he most recently has been working on the Ghostbusters franchise.
Right. Frozen Empire.
Directed and then wrote Frozen Empire and Afterlife, I think, respectively.
The guy loves his dad. What can you say, Brett?
I love it. And he's a friend of everybody.
He loves his dad.
I said earlier, I think Jason Reitman is our generation's Rob Reiner. Maybe not quite as talented as Rob Reiner.
Yeah, Rob Reiner made Spinal Tap and Princess Bride.
Very good point.
Just throwing it out.
Very good point. Well, our generation sucks more than previous generations, so we get Jason Reitman.
That's exactly
But just
it,
like culturally in the industry, like a nepo baby who just seems to be very beloved, but also he gives that love back. This is a guy who, as we'll see on Saturday Night, is very friendly towards the industry that has been very friendly towards him, and who can blame him?
Why not? It's funner that
Gil
way.
Keenan got a co-writing credit on this. Keenan worked with Reitman on those Ghostbusters movies. The DP in this one is Eric Steelberg, also a frequent Jason Reitman collaborator.
Brett, just quick shout out.
Good.
I loved that cinematography
and production design together.
Wonderful.
Were locked in.
God damn.
I saw they painstakingly recreated the original set. Of,
well, guess what? That paid
SNL.
off because it worked.
And the movie features a cavalcade of young stars. We've got Rachel Sennett, Gabriel LaBelle, a.k.a. Sammy Fableman, Cooper Hoffman from Licorice Pizza, Corey Michael Smith from May December, Dylan O'Brien, Lamorne Morris, like scene stealers, just like young scene stealers all together,
they're good.
All working together. You also got Nicholas Braun in here. The list goes on. And then you got some old classics, baby. Willem Dafoe, Matthew Rhys as George Carlin, J.K. Simmons as Milton Berle.
And they were all great.
It's one of those, if I can quote Oprah, it's one of those, you get to cosplay, and you get to cosplay, and you get to cosplay. Everyone gets to cosplay as some sort of star of yesteryear, and they're all having a blast.
Yeah.
The Saturday Night takes place in real time on the night of October 11th, 1975, as the cast and crew of Saturday Night Live get ready for the show's pilot episode. You see all the crises and disasters they endure as they try to get the show on the air and not get replaced by a rerun of Johnny Carson. In particular, the movie focuses on the battle at NBC between the establishment and the counterculture, with Lorne Michaels hilariously representing the counterculture, as well as his young cast and writers, and then Johnny Carson, Milton Berle, etc., representing the establishment. Joe, what do you think of Saturday Night?
Brett, Saturday Night is a great kind of movie. It's a we're putting on a show movie.
Love
it has
those.
Everyone running around backstage. Things are going crazy. It's Kermit backstage at the Muppet Show. It's noises off. Hijinks abound.
42nd Street. It's Shakespeare in Love.
And look, these are it's a great American myth, and it's a great American television myth. And these characters, they've become mythical characters: Dan Aykroyd and Gilda Radner and Milton Berle and such. So it's fun to watch. A really young, very talented. Actually, Brett, I was really surprised. I didn't quite know just how talented this cast was. Like, whoa, these gals, this whole entire crew, they can
they're great.
Act their butts off. They all fucking look amazing
with a deceptively hard script. That was a hard script to act.
I agree.
Because it was so literate and sort of metered.
Yeah.
And funny adjacent, but not hilarious. Yeah. So it was a deceptively hard script to act, and I thought they all acted it very well.
I felt like they must have included a lot of quotes from articles about the time or something, because everything really felt like it was little stories. Anyway, I thought the cast was just absolutely terrific. I thought it looked great. I thought it moved well, and I thought it's a good story. But I didn't like the movie, Brett, because well, that's not true. I know it was really good.
I thought you liked the movie.
Well, I liked it in that it was good and it was fun. But when it was over, I was like, yeah, I saw Saturday Night, and now I can move on. I think it's really actually one of the best recent cracks at the, oh my God, the company /show/team is going through a crisis movies as of late. I think because we work in comedy and because I've have a long relationship with Saturday Night Live and idolized it growing up and loved it, and I've not studied it, but watched a bajillion episodes and seen all the year. Just so much SNL in my life that I'm just personally, it's like I over SNL'd, and now I'm just I'm rooting for 50. Shout out to everybody at Studio
whatever
47,
wherever they
do
do
it. We love it up there. I just don't care. I think what I really liked was like, it was so nice to see a bunch of young talent that was impressive, because sometimes for our job, we look at younger talent and sometimes it feels difficult to sift through and find really talented people in the sort of morass of like YouTube and act. It's like, it's hard to find
it's
talent.
that classic generational turnover of like, oh, things aren't as good as they used to be. And then something like this comes along and you're like, what am I talking about? Things are fine.
Exactly.
Everybody's still super talented.
That was exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, great, cool. A bunch of like cool movie stars, good actors, TV stars, like fun cameos and a zippy script. I think, you know what, why I said I don't like it, this movie, is because, not just because I'm like over the SNL mythologizing. I just found this film to be totally fun. Yeah. Exciting enough and thin. Thin.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. I mean, really fun, really good, insanely competent, very handsome, like lovely shot, great performances. Just fucking surface. Just like a bunch of really good stories strung together. And every single time Reitman cut to like the time, I thought to myself, man, it's so long till showtime. Is this really in real time? Fuck, and I gotta wait an hour.
I felt the same way.
Cut all of those. Because I was zipping along in the story, and then it was like 10:13 switches to 10:14.
It weirdly,
I was like,
it like de-escalates.
An hour and 15 minutes away from. They got plenty of time to figure it all.
It like
shit
de-escalates
out.
the tension. It's supposed to heighten the tension, and I was like, oh, they're fine. They have how much time?
Brett, the entire time I was thinking, there's no problem. They are going to make it. And then like, you know, at one point something happens where I was like, oh, I guess that is bad. But ultimately, the time wasn't working for me. So basically, good thin movie. The fact that this is being talked about for Best Picture really speaks to like how culturally rotten we are as like a film going, visual.
I don't think it goes
watching
the distance.
society.
You know, we had talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, like
it's just it's
even
it's
with
not
8 nominees or whatever. I don't think it makes it.
This movie's not a made-for-TV movie at all. It's a really competently made film, and it is a movie. But it has like some sort of like low stakes, thin sensibility, NBD story. It's all for fun, sort of TV movie spirit in it.
Yeah. Well,
it's sort of unserious. It's just it's a trifle. It's nice. It's like a celebratory treat for the 50th. This guy loves his dad.
Yeah, I think Reitman's adulation of SNL becomes the main impediment to the movie.
Right.
Like he clearly like
it's the strength and the weakness.
This is a very like clear heroes and villains story where like all the old media guys are the villains, all the SNL people led by Lorne are the heroes, the countercultural heroes, and then Cooper Hoffman as Dick Ebersol is stuck in the middle as like the go between. I actually think this movie could have benefited a lot from a more complex look at SNL's dynamics, particularly now with 50 years, to look back on how that institution has grown and developed and things like that. I think they could have been a little more complex in their portrayal of Lorne, certainly.
Yeah, like what did the counterculture yield us? Yes. Or like there was none of that. It was a series of.
It was a celebration. It was as they say, a love letter to SNL, and that's not really what I was necessarily in the mood for. But I did, like you said, I love the genre so much of like the show must go on one way or another. What come hell or high water, we're getting this thing on air. We're getting this thing over the finish line. I love that genre so much, and they really nailed the genre at the key point, like in the last 10 minutes. So
the last 10, 15
I ended the movie
fun.
on a high.
Totally.
The genre sort of carried me through and allowed me to enjoy the movie as well as the performances. But man alive, I really hate the SNL's sort of mythologizing of itself. It's mythology that's created around itself. I really hate that SNL has somehow like makes it seem like they're the only staff in the entertainment industry, the only people in the entertainment industry that like work hard and stay up late. They all the how many times have you heard these people go on about we had to stay up until 2 a.m. writing sketches? Like that's everything. That's like every job now.
Everyone stays up till 2.
Everybody everywhere.
Yeah, every
is
Tuesday
overworked.
night, everybody stays up till 2.
But you know what most people don't get is like a 6-month vacation half the
and $1
year.
million.
And so much money. So I really hate this like and they are all in on that narrative for this this movie Saturday Night of like, oh, these guys are working hard and they're so scrappy and this and that. But also, we were talking about earlier, I was like, why were they so unprepared for this pilot episode? Because you get like, there are things that are being done in like the final hour that's like, wait, but why? Like, seriously though, why wasn't that already done?
Yeah, Lorne comes.
You probably should have done that before now.
Lorne comes out of the movie looking like getting a lot of the credit that he should, which is at the end of the day, we moo and boo about Lorne Michaels, but the guy did all the things Lorne Michaels did and launched so many careers and so on and so forth. And he comes out well in the movie. But you know how like the whole movie, he's like, I got 300 sketches on the wall and I got to turn this into 15 in an hour and a half.
You haven't done that yet?
Lorne, you can't cut.
Yeah.
You don't know that half of this is fucking bullshit?
Yeah.
Just get it off the fucking board.
This is the pilot episode of SNL. All these sketches suck.
I get
Just
it.
cut half of them.
I get it. There's 3 or 4 like, I don't knows. Maybe. There's like 50 on this board that he
that
like,
board's ridiculous.
Like,
the board's ridiculous.
I don't know, man. I don't think that happened, but whatever. Anyway, that's it. Time to fight on Bergman's.
No, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
A couple final words about SNL.
Good,
we
good.
were going to do winners and losers.
Oh,
You
sorry,
want
I'm
to do
so
that?
excited to fight you on
Okay,
Bergman's.
I can't wait for that either. Coming up in a little bit, only on
Patreon.
Patreon.
I'm so sorry.
I do want to say I want to give a special fuck you out for this movie though. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the movie itself, because the performance of this character was fine and the actor did a very good job. But this movie reminded me how much I despise Michael O'Donoghue. The Michael O'Donoghue is often talked about as this sort of like secret icon of comedy, this like secret weapon, this dark guru that he was so fucked up and twisted and ahead of his time. And he was one of the main writers in the first run of SNL, head writer of SNL. Famously wore these like glasses and, you know, dressed like this sort of like dark academic and was always walking around humiliating people as much as possible.
Classic comedy douchebag.
I do not know what this reputation is based on, because anything that I can find from Michael O'Donoghue, including the stuff that is covered in this movie, which is a lot of the famous stuff. He was in the very first sketch of the show and did little bits here and there. The thing he does about like Mr. Rogers stabbing the hairpins into his eyes was like one of his most famous bits. Michael O'Donoghue is such a fucking hack. None of his material has aged well. It all relies on him just like humiliating women and pretending he's had sex before. He thinks like golden shower is like the most dangerous thing in the world, and I'm gonna slip that in the script. And he's like, and it's like, of course you seem edgy when you're talking to the like evangelical censor hired by NBC, but he's the kind of guy who like dunks too hard on people that it's like easy to dunk on. You know, he's like, he really like, he presents himself as this like punch up counterculture icon. He is like punch down to his soul. He is like a little man, like a little punch down man, a guy who likes to pick on people, humiliate people, like excruciatingly, in excruciating detail, humiliate people in like public in front of other people. It's what he lives
he
for.
was like
He's a small man.
when he was reaming out the S&P lady in front of everybody, and then everybody was like cracking up and like loving it, I was like, that's how you handled this?
Yeah.
That's so unprofessional and so horrible. And also, that's not going to get you the results that you want. Like, and then Lauren was like,
that's Michael O'Donoghue, our resident genius. Like, Where is the genius?
I don't think Lauren would have laughed that off. It seemed really fucking fucked up, honestly.
They all thought they were so badass. They all thought they were so fucking And that's funny. The thing where like this movie really could have benefited, and particularly now, 50 years later, could have benefited from some self-interrogation, some self-awareness, and not just been this complete love letter SNL. Because there's a lot going on in the early days of SNL. I mean,
tons.
Like, the tell-all, like the people who were on the show are irreverent about the show, and we're like, yeah, we were all fucked up on cocaine, we were mean to each other.
Well,
and
that's
there was
that's in the movie.
But it's all sort of presented as such like, oh, this was the
Crazy
glory
fun. Yeah.
the golden days. And it's like, no, there's a lot of problems here. Not all of you are as talented as you think you are. There was just such an opportunity to kind of, even still in the guise of a love letter, just interrogate the subject matter a little bit more. But that's not what the movie's trying to do, and that was the disappointment for me. But overall, I like the genre enough that it kind of carried me through from start to finish, as well as the performances. Nicholas Braun was crap, but otherwise everyone else was good.
I agree. Braun stuck out like a sore thumb. And in a movie full of cameos where it was a lot of, hey, look, it's like you think it would be fine to have another, hey, look, it's Cousin Greg. But man,
Nicholas Braun is turning out to be like Kevin from The Office. He's like, he had one character in his first show that was like, or not first show, he was a child actor, but he's got this one iconic character that was just perfect for his skill set and was funny, and then like, and everything was perfect. But he's since, I feel like, been exposed as sort of talentless beyond that role and does not have a lot of resources as a performer. And we see that he has to play Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson in this movie and goes 0 for 2. It's pretty weak stuff coming out of Nicholas Braun in this movie, and I don't know if we need to keep handing him choice roles moving forward. Give it to some of these other great. Give it a little.
How about Finn?
Yeah, all right.
Because Finn was just and Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. He was just the NBC page, and like that was like a one sentence.
Tell me what
character.
Tell me if you think. I think what happened was. Because Finn was in the Ghostbusters, so Finn is like riding with Jason Reitman,
Finn and Jason
right?
chill, they hang.
I guarantee Finn auditioned for Lorne Michaels, and probably was like a finalist for Lorne Michaels, and then didn't get it and had to play. Didn't even at that point. Everybody else is cast. And at that point, he had to play an NBC page. I guarantee he was this close to Lorne Michaels.
Well, he must have screen tested way too young because Finn looks so young.
He looks so young.
He must have.
Gabriel LaBelle has like a weird gravitas for as young as he looks.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Also, Lamorne Morris did incredible in this as Garrett Morris.
I thought he was awesome.
He is such a talented actor. He just won the was it Emmy or Golden Globe for Fargo, well deserved.
Got a new podcast on HeadGum.
That's right. I saw that. I think Lamorne Morris and oh my God, from It's Always Sunny. What's his name? The guy that's in Blackberry. Who am I thinking of? Glenn Howerton. Glenn Howerton and Lamorne Morris. These guys like coming out of these sitcom franchises that have proven themselves like really fucking talented actors. I love it. Also, like we said, Rachel Sennett was great. Corey Michael Smith from May December is a star. Give him more stuff to do.
Great, man.
Dylan O'Brien is Dan Aykroyd. Dude. That dude has been wanting to do comedy, and he's got the chops.
Dude, okay,
he's got the chops.
Aykroyd.
Yeah.
The movie was so good at showing you, like, Aykroyd was the most annoying fucker of all time, right? So they got that, nailed that.
Yes.
And then Dylan O'Brien did such a good job being so annoying as Aykroyd, but also so funny, and like he sold that, like, I guess Aykroyd was charming despite all this nonsense in his way, and just Dylan O'Brien just murdered. He sounded just like him.
I know. I got to give Dylan O'Brien props. I thought
so too,
I thought
dude.
he might have been like a Zac Efron in the making. These like handsome dudes who want to do
he's
comedy,
awesome, bro,
and can't quite do it. He's got the chops. Dylan
so much
O'Brien's
talk about the
chops.
guys, but this fucking cadre of ladies in this movie,
Come on.
they
Give
were
it to me.
fucking
Thank you,
amazing, dog.
Thank you.
Ella Hunt as Gilda Radner,
Killed.
Emily Farron as Lorraine Newman,
Killed.
and Kim Matula as Jane Curtin, my favorite of the bunch, and they were all rock stars.
Killed.
Jane Curtin, or Kim Matula, has her monologue that she does to Morris up in the balcony.
That was
good acting.
highlight.
I was like,
Highlight of the movie.
wow,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
All those ladies were such like a relief in this like very guy heavy SNL mythologizing movie. It's like the women were also just like have to be shouted out because they and they looked so much like the casting was fun. The movie is good. We're soured old bastards, but the movie is good, dude.
The movie is good,
but
the
it's
genre
thin.
is great. It just is like it's a love letter movie,
It's
and
thin.
that's going to have
That's
its
all.
limitations.
Yeah, that's
it easily could have been a little more critical of SNL's past,
Well,
present legacy.
It could have had a politics.
It could have had points. It had things to say.
The
And it didn't really
politics-
have anything to say.
yeah.
Yeah.